Well, folks, welcome back. Next adventure is taking us right here to beautiful Bangor, Maine. We're in Stephen King country. Right here to my right, actually, walking along this gate is the home of Stephen King, but we can't show you that just yet. That's what they call a tease, so we're going to come back here at the end, kind of wrap up here at his house, but you're going to see a common theme as we're going through some of these spots here in Bangor. A lot of these spots that inspired him to write many of his classic novels, as well as many of his classic characters. But the one recurring theme you're going to notice, a lot of it has to do with it. A lot of it inspirations around town. So let's get moving.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you. 3, 2, 1.
What you're looking at right here is the Kenduskeag Stream. Why is this area important? How did it play a role in one of Stephen King's novels? Well, this is where he got the idea for the Barrens. Make our way down here to the stream, kind of show you how it looks. So it's a pretty good size area. But it's right here where Stephen King got his idea for the Barrens. And the Barrens is used in his novel, It. Played a big role in the novel. And the Barrens was known as the meetup area for the Losers Club. Very, very beautiful, peaceful down here too. Just a bit cold, probably in the upper 30s right now. Look at that. Just beautiful out here on a lovely October morning here in Bangor, Maine. Made our way to our next stop. And you're going to see this massive structure right here. That's the Thomas Hill standpipe. Now, if you're familiar with it, the Thomas Hill standpipe served as the inspiration for the haunted and dangerous water tower in the novel. Look at that thing. And I think I read too, I could be mistaken, that there are times where you can go in this thing. I don't know if it's part of a tour. I didn't really read too much into it, but here's some information about the standpipe. It's built in 1897. If you want to read all that, go ahead and pause the video. Kind of gives you a little rundown of this structure. According to that sign, this thing can hold 1.7 million gallons of water. And it's massive. Let's see what we got here. It just basically says it's a unique civil structure consisting of 1.75 million gallons, riveted steel water tank enclosed by a wood frame shroud and stairwell. Across the street from the standpipe over here, we have a tiny little park. And it's right here in this park. Over here on a park bench is where Stephen King wrote most of the novel, It. right here, right at the base of the standpipe. Now, there's a bench over there. I don't know if that's the same exact bench he sat on and wrote the novel, but let's just say he did. Makes it more interesting. But one thing I can say for sure, it did happen in this little park right here. Let's get one more look at the standpipe from our vantage point. Look at that. Hey, we see there's Lizzie right there, just hanging out, waiting to move on to our next destination. Look at that thing. Impressive. We are out here in the heart of Bangor at the Cross Center Insurance Building. See over to the right? It's Paul Bunyan. We're going to focus on him right now. As you can see out here, it's a nice sunny day. Mr. Bunyan, he's all smiles. But I'll tell you what, he wasn't all smiles when he came to life in It. This is the same Paul Bunyan statue that chased Richie across the field. But yeah, you'll notice too the Paul Bunyan statue was in the movie It. It was in chapter 2. But this is what inspired Stephen King to put him in the book. Paul Bunyan looking over the town. In case you're wondering, do not climb on this statue because it'll only piss him off more. Look at that guy, and he is tall. A little fun fact for you, I don't know if you knew this or how big of a Stephen King fan you are, but Paul Bunyan statue was also mentioned in one of King's other novels called Insomnia. Just don't piss the guy off. Other than that, he's just standing here all smiles. A hop, skip, and a jump away from the King house, literally. We are here at the corner of Jackson and Union Streets for something so terrifying you will not believe your eyes. What we're about to come up to is the famous inspiration in the novel It, this drain right here. Now, it may look just like a regular storm drain to you and I, but this is the storm drain inspired Stephen King to put in his novel. This is the storm drain where Pennywise lured Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie.
As the story goes, this storm drain caught King's imagination and looks like any other in the city, but you know, he was probably out on one of his walks, just saw this drain, and he said, okay, that's where Pennywise resides. Yeah, that's the drain right there.
Hiya, Georgie.
On the corner of Jackson and Union. We're a little west of Bangor right now in the town of Herman. Look at all these trucks. Well, that can only mean one thing, right? Whoa, look at this. Gas station. It's Dysert's, and if I'm pronouncing that right, good for me. If I'm not, sorry about that. Dysert's Store and Restaurant. It said right here, this popular truck stop here is what inspired Stephen King to write the short story Trucks. Now, you may not know it by that name, but you may know it by its movie name, Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, this was the Dixie Boy. This is what inspired him to write that short story. And in turn, it turned into the movie Maximum Overdrive, which is the one and only movie that Stephen King actually directed. And the movie's okay. It does have a great soundtrack, but you may know it when Stephen King says this.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Yeah, well, did he scare the hell out of you? I don't know. It's kind of a guilty pleasure now, but this is where that happened. Yeah, all these trucks right here. Thankfully, they're not moving on their own. right, let's leave this Dixie boy, head to our next stop. Before I show you our next stop, I just want to show you this beautiful view of the river that runs through town here. Look at that. This is so pretty and quiet. See that building to our left? That's where we're going. All right, what you're looking at right here in front of us is the Bangor Waterworks building. This place has been around for quite a while. Now the reason we're here, because, wait for that gas truck to go by. Yeah, so this structure was used in collection of stories, in the Night Shift collection to be exact. And it was turned into a movie. Do you remember the movie Graveyard Shift? Down below all those tunnels that were in there, there's this giant rat wreaking havoc. Well, some of that movie Graveyard Shift was filmed right here in this building, inside the Waterworks building.
This is the new horror from the mind of Stephen King.
This place is infested.
That might be the understatement of the year.
And the deeper you go,
when's the last time you've been to a graveyard?
the colder you feel, the hungrier it gets. Graveyard Shift. Good benefits. Early retirement. Rated R.
There's still down below a series of tunnels that are below the streets, and that's where a lot of those scenes were filmed in the movie. Right down there. Now I don't think you can get down there anymore based on what I've read, but this is no longer the Waterworks building. Today, it says it's been turned into some low-income housing. But yeah, this is where Stephen King got the basis for that story in the Night Shift collection. We're out here at Mount Hope Cemetery. We've come here for two reasons, and I'm going to show you those two reasons here in a minute as soon as we make our way over here. Now, also in the cemetery is where they did a couple of scenes from the 1989 classic Pet Cemetery. This is where Gage was buried. It's also where they had the funeral for Missy, that Stephen King himself presided over, right over in this area, and about right about the center of your screen. And it's right about the center of your screen where we're headed. You see Liz up there scouting ahead. She is scouting for what we are looking for. Now, it's believed Stephen King himself got many of his character names from this very cemetery. Now, again, that's just the big rumor going around. He never really verified that, but I don't know. Let's see. One such name here, we have the Georgie headstone. We all know Georgie got his arm ripped off by Pennywise in It.
Hiya, Georgie.
But it's said that this is the very marker where Stephen King got that name. There's one more I want to show you here. It's right around in this vicinity. Right behind the Georgie tombstone, we have this one. Carrie. Now, it's Carrie M, not Carrie W for Carrie White. But this is the headstone where Stephen King came up with the name of one of his best known novels and characters. What you're looking at is the river that runs through downtown Bangor on a beautiful October afternoon. But we're down here for another reason, actually a very tragic reason. We'll tell you the story behind that. What you're looking at right here, it's a State Street Bridge right here downtown Bangor. I was on this bridge. There was a real life tragedy that took place back in 1984. A man by the name of Charlie Howard, he was murdered by 3 teenagers who threw him right over this bridge for being gay. The story goes he pled and told them he couldn't swim. Well, that didn't stop him. They took him, threw him over this into the Kenduskeag River. When he went in, he had an asthma attack and drowned in the canal. There's a little memorial to Charlie that's right over here as well.
Somebody died
just for somebody else's enjoyment. Now these kids are set free.
It was a crime that shocked the state and captured the attention of the nation back in 1984. Charlie Howard, then 21 years old, a member of Bangor's gay community. He was beaten by 3 teenagers and thrown off the State Street Bridge into the Kentucky stream. Howard screamed that he couldn't swim. He then drowned. It was a death that galvanized the community and helped spur the gay rights movement in Maine.
And off the bridge is this little memorial that was created. This is Charles O. Howard, 1961 to 1984. The inscription down at the base says, "May we, the citizens of Bangor, continue to change the world around us until hatred becomes peacemaking and ignorance becomes understanding." Charlie Howard, an openly gay man, died here at the hands of hatred and ignorance on July 7th, 1984. Now, what happened to Charlie back in July of 1984 is nothing short of a tragedy, and just for being gay. However, that unfortunate tragedy inspired Stephen King. There was the same scenario in It. And if you've seen the movies, in It Chapter 2, the beginning scene, the opening scene, where 2 guys were coming back from looked like the fair. They were walking across a bridge. They were both gay. And a group of scumbags came up, threw the guy right in the water. And that's where Stephen King got that inspiration, from the Charlie Howard incident that happened right here. State Street Bridge. So we're back here in front of Stephen King's home. Look at this, right here in his yard, a frog statue. You know, because, why not? Make our way back along the fence line here. You can see his house in the background. There's a bit of an odd structure sitting right in the front yard. Not quite sure what it is. It looks like a cabinet of some sorts. It has legs, but the top of the cabinet's branches kind of protruding from it. But hey, you can see some crows. Looks like there's an owl. Very weird, but yet very Stephen King-like. Now, he also owns a house not only right here in Bangor, but western Maine and down in Florida as well. I know, reading online, he does switch a lot between this home and the one in Florida. I think he mainly leaves here in the winter. He could be in there right now. I do not know. There's a car in the driveway, so I don't know. He could be in there, but then again, maybe he's not. But you see along this fence line, and again, this is very Stephen King-like, you're going to come across a couple bats on the entryway. Look at that.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
Now, Stephen King bought this house back in 1980 at a puny price of $135,000. Not too shabby. Now, there was a couple out here a few minutes ago that told us that Stephen King liked to write his books in the coldest part of the house. We're thinking maybe it's that window at the very top, because it does have some condensation on the window, it looks like. So that could be the coldest room in the house. It's just where he does his best writing and where he likes to write. And keep in mind, a lot of his classic novels are all written right here in this house. But could that be the window? We can only speculate. So Liz was just doing a little bit of research. Right here next to the King house is this white home, and she read that he also owns this home as well. He wanted to turn this little area into a writer's retreat. So why not? Why not buy this home as well? That's beautiful. And I guess it kind of makes sense because there's no fence dividing the 2 houses. It kind of looks like the Bates home. I mean, it all has the same fence line, so makes sense to me. But who knows? Stephen King could be in there as well, watching us film. But yep, that's also his home. There's a car in that driveway as well. All right, that wraps it up. Bangor, Maine, right here in front of the Stephen King home. We're out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. This was a lot of fun. So we'll see you guys next time.
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.